And there it is, all the Cyclops. Oh, what the fuck? How do you do, Mr. Lawyer? I'm Matt on guard. Oh, weird. That door just opened. Maybe I should go walk through it. Hmm? Huh? What's that over there? I swear, I just saw something. Moided! Oh no. You see all those exclamation points pop up? I don't know if I have all the ammo for this. Yeah, pop on in, girl.
Maya, I'm sorry.
Matt on guard is... Oh yeah, look who it is, oh my god! Yes! Von Karma, I thought I would never be so happy to see Von Karma in my life. Oh, that makes me so happy. Ooh, there we go, right through the crack. Hacked you. Ah! It's like a something. Ooh, he hacked me. Oh, it's so close. How are you not dead yet? Oh yeah, she is dead. Okay, cool. Oh no, she's just very close. See you later. And that guy's like, what the fuck? Where'd that lady come from? I need to explore that kind of like the social VR a little bit more, because there's a lot of cool social stuff in VR, and you can have such like real experiences. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, I waited too long and now she went to bed. No! Hey, that's okay. I get to talk to Chloe a little bit more. Like, how was I so close, Noah? Well, how did I do that, dude? What the fuck, man? Ah, damn. Well, thanks for bringing everybody over here, Chloe. I've had a good stream. All we've been doing is try to romance our girlfriend? What? Did you guys see that? He just like dodge rolled from me, and now he's like a decrepit old man. What? He just like James Bond dodge rolled over here. What the hell? Oh man. Oh yeah, look how much fat we're losing, dude. Looks very sus when you do that. Oh, does it look sus when I do this, dude? Does that look fucking sus, bro? You don't like that, Neptune? You don't like it when I do that, dude? We're fucking exercising. What do you think I'm doing? I'm just hitting the A button, dude. what the fuck do you think I'm doing over here, huh? It's time for a workout. There you go. I didn't realize this was only cans. There you go, Aaron. Oh yeah, dude. We're fucking so hype right now. We're just fucking exercising. You better not do anything wrong with me, boy. Or maybe I'll just whack you with it. Oh, missed him. Whack you. Oh, missed him. I can't hit him. I can't hit him, guys. It's too fast. I think it's better that I don't hit him. I think that's hilarious. Chuck.
I would never eavesdrop. I wasn't raised to be so rude and unrefined.
That's right, Miss Faye.
Don't drag the witness down to your level.
Why am I being demonized here?
Please, go on. What did you see next? They're just like white knighting her like hardcore, aren't they? You know what I mean? We must protect her.
Yes, sir, we'll protect her. Maybe she'll want to sleep with one of us.
Oh, yes, maybe.
Then suddenly, Ducky got all wobbly and just collapsed.
Well done, Mia. No, you're really lit, well, you've really lit a fire in my heart and my buttocks. I can hardly tell which is more inflamed, my spirit or my hemorrhoids. That's, what the fuck, TMI, bro? My ass is completely on fire. What are you saying, Miss Faye? Toilet? My perfect little dolly doesn't poop. You heard the defendant, Miss Faye. Better luck next time. Are you fucking serious, dude? Even the judge is like, well, she doesn't poop, so obviously it wasn't the bathroom. Oh my god. What the fuck is going on, dude? This is hilarious.
No, Feeny, please.
Night City is very pretty, you know? These blue or these purple lights, that's so cool. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Oh no! Oh no! What the fuck? I've seen someone do that. I think I even saw on Hover somebody do that exact same thing, except they totally crashed their car. Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. I am your host, Domm Dynamite, and we will be recapping last week's episode. So, last week we started Turnabout Succession. Turnabout Succession has been centered around a daughter and a father. So, our victim in this case, his name is Drew Misham, because he drew me a sham. I'll get back to that in a moment. So, Drew died at his home, unfortunately. Poor guy. And the person who was blamed for his death, and who is our client, is his daughter. I don't remember her name off the top of my head, but either way, she's very quiet, so we haven't really got to talk to her. She's not said a word to us. She's very shy.
Too shy.
But so what we found out about Drew is that at the time of Drew's death, he was giving an interview, and this was actually a very interesting thing for Drew to do because Drew was a bit of a shut-in or whatever, a hermit, if you will. So he never went out, never did interviews or whatever. He just did art, and that was it, all right? And so this is like the first time he was ever getting interviewed, and during the interview, he died. That's like all we really know is that he died during the interview. So we were pretty suspicious immediately of the interviewer because this was a very interesting event in his life that was very new, and so it's kind of a weird coincidence for that to happen, right? But we then eventually find out that he died because of poison, and the reason why his daughter was accused is because he had just drank from a cup of coffee, I believe, that she had brought him, and the rim of the coffee cup had poison on it. So they thought she poisoned the rim of the cup and gave it to her father, and that's how she killed him, which is pretty brutal and not true. But so the deal is that, sorry, I forgot how I was going to go into that. Okay, so I don't remember how we get into it, but while we were at the crime scene, we found some interesting pieces of evidence, and what that was we found two images that looked very similar. There were two paintings, but one was half finished, and the one that was half finished, the part that hadn't been painted on yet, seemed to have a sketch underneath that was completely different than the painting that was getting painted over it, and so that was really suspicious. So Emma let us borrow her X-ray scanner, and so what we got to do is we got to put the pictures on the scanner, and then we would go like a few layers deep or whatever. We were like scanning this. We had this vertical thing on the side, and here, let me click through. What am I doing? We got it right here, dude. Here it is. So we got to do the X-ray machine. Come on, let's do some X-rays. Where were we? We had the machine, but I want to show the X-ray part. Anyways, so what it does is we get to select the layer, and then we had to like wipe the screen, and we got little pieces, and eventually we got to see the image that was underneath all of the paint. And it always turned out that the craziest thing is that every image had to do with one of the previous cases that we had been on, and so that blew our minds. It was like an image like of the crime scene somehow of all those cases. Where there's every single time I hover over, there it is, finally. It's like every time I hover over it, we're on the X-ray, but when I click, it's not. Okay, so yeah, this is a pretty cool little video game. That's why I wanted to point it out. So another element to this, though, like it seems the reason why he was painting a completely different image is because Drew specifically seems to, I guess, specialize or whatever. Either way, he creates forged art. So he's an art forger, and then I guess he sells it on the black market or something. I don't know. So that's why his name is Drew Misham, I believe. I actually just put that together before the stream. But yeah, so I got Drew Misham, Drew Sham, and so honestly, I think that's all we know, right? Oh, there is another element to the case, though. I will go over. There's a whole nother person. So first, I have to go over the fact that this whole case started with Trucy wanting to go to a magic show that her uncle Valent is putting on or whatever. He's doing some really big, what am I trying to say? Like magic trick or whatever, illusion. It's a specific trick that was invented by the leader of the Gramarye troupe, who's no longer with us. R.I.P. And when they died, they left it to Trucy's father. Like all of the secrets or whatever was owned by Trucy's father. And so Trucy's father went missing 8 years ago. And so they haven't been able to legally do the trick since Trucy's father went missing. But he wasn't legally declared dead until 8 years passed, which it just hit the anniversary recently of his passing. So apparently that then gave Valent the right to then finally perform the trick after all these years. So that's a big event for him, and so he's preparing for that at the same Coliseum as the last case took place in, where the Gaviners played. And another way this, or the way this is connected to the case, is that the person that we came to this area to see wasn't actually Valent Gramarye. It was actually the interviewer for Drew, the guy who was apparently there when he died, was also here trying to interview Valent and them. And Valent apparently hates the guy, which I can understand why. So we eventually go to the detention center because apparently he's there, and there he is. So then we meet, what's his name? Bruchel Sparks or Sparks Bruchel or something like that? Bruchel. I'll just call him Bruchel, whatever. So, yeah, we met this guy, and he's just like a really weird guy. I mean, I guess that's kind of Ace Attorney for you, isn't it? But let me see. What was it that we learned from him? Oh, here it is. Drew. Okay, so he doesn't directly answer. Yeah, he doesn't say anything to us, right? He just says a bunch of mumbo jumbo. He keeps like quoting things while he talks. He has nothing to say, but he does, however, tell you that he learned a painting was stolen. It contains an old lady with a giant peach floating down the river. Sound familiar? Yeah. Okay, so that was the picture that we found duplicates of. So okay, he just gave us a little piece about apparently there was a stolen painting, and that was one of the ones that we found at Drew's studio. But yeah, that's where we ended. So it feels like it's a little all over the place. That was probably really hard to follow, but I mean, that's Ace Attorney for you, right? Hello, happy Wednesday. Been here, but was listening to the recap. Right on, I appreciate it. Oh yeah, I forgot to put it in emote only mode and stuff. I usually do that. Totally spaced it. Yeah, this is a crazy case. There's a lot of weird stuff going on, so it's been kind of hard to put it together. They also like tell these cases in, see, that's our client over there. They also tell these cases in a different kind of format than the old Ace Attorney format. It feels like it's, I don't know, just a different format. They're like kind of pushing us back and forth. We've had two clients, I guess maybe this is why I'm saying this. We've had two clients where they couldn't speak or whatever. So that's made it feel really different, I guess. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into it. Part 2 of Turnabout Succession. Oh, that's YouTube videos watching. And that is not the program either. There it is. That was Discord. Oh, did I think, you know what? Hold on. I think I forgot to put myself in streamer only mode. Or streamer mode, not streamer only. Doop-a-doop, boop, boop, boop. There we go. Streamer mode activated. If you guys didn't see it, I put a little update video on the Discord about my trombone chant project I'm trying to work on. All right. Shall we? I hope you're doing good, Estella, and anybody else who might already be here. I hope everybody's had a wonderful Wednesday. And I hope you guys are ready for some courtroom action. All right. Oh, you know what? I was about to start, but I forgot my controller. I usually use an Xbox controller for this. A little bit of a teaser, cleared my throat and everything. Go ahead and make sure we got the controller config going. Up, left, down, right. B-A-Y-X. Start. Select LR. There we go. All right. Doing great. My event is shaping up for next week. Oh, nice. You got an event next week. Hell yeah. That sounds good. How was your hump day? It was good. I went and had lunch with some people from work just to help me get to know some people on a team that is like kind of connected to what I'm doing. I work too, and it was really nice. Got to know some people. We just talked about regular everyday stuff, and it was lovely. So nice. I could use that probably more in my life, to be honest. Hey, well, what's up, Domm Ross? How's it going, dude? Yep. See you later, bud. All right. October 8th, 9:48 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby, number 6. Yeah, nice opportunity to network. Yeah, got to talk about some code stuff and stuff. That's cool. Good morning, Vera. That was her name. Okay, Vera Misham. Vera Misham. I'm just trying to see if she has a pun in her name, because she's got the Misham, so like I'm a sham kind of thing. But like, I don't know if her has that. If she has me.
So, you're Vera, right? I'm Trucy. Trucy Wright. That's right, with a W. But, not right, right?
Like, what would you say to that?
We're on your side. You can tell us anything. Please?
Oh, the music had to get quiet so maybe we can hear.
Good morning.
She speaks!
Not bad, not bad. But I think you'd do better with a little smile, you know? You're so pretty. You need to sell yourself, you know?
Trucy, let's take it easy for starters. Nope, she can draw something. Oh, that's cool. I like that animation. That's really cool. Huh, that could be a fun animation to have her. If I could, like, make her draw something, that could be a fun animation to maybe program for the stream. You know, she draw something, and then maybe it's like this person's logo for the shout-out thing or something. That could be a fun thing.
Thank you for taking my case.
Okay, well, that's a start, I guess. There she goes with the nail polish again.
That's great, really. It's so cultured.
Nope.
Want to try? Oh, really?
Girls.
The victim, Drew Misham, was a forger, and a stolen painting was found in his studio. A life of crime, really. And maybe one that led to his death.
October 8th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. Well, we will now begin the trial of Vera Misham.
Is the judge okay? His voice is all raspy, and he's looking around all nervous-like.
The repercussions of today's trial will most likely be felt for a long time, and may indeed alter our legal system forever. Oh yeah, because it's the jury system. I totally forgot. That's like a huge part of this. Oh yeah, in the recap, let me just go ahead and talk about that really quick. So, this whole game, apparently, Phoenix in the background has been working on setting up a test run of a jury system. So this whole case was selected by Phoenix, and everybody involved in the case, as far as like who's in charge, like of the prosecution and the defense, even though it's the same people, was all chosen by Phoenix apparently, so that we could try out having a jury. So this is the first case that we've ever done in an Ace Attorney game so far that has had a jury involved, and it's supposed to be a jury of like only like 6 or 8 people, I think. So I don't know. We'll have to see how this works. I really wonder how this is gonna go.
Today is the test of the jurist system, and the first step towards a new order in our courts.
Daddy's secret mission.
The jurist will function like a jury. It is hoped their inclusion will help the courts to better reflect the people's will.
Why?
Aren't there any jurists in the courtroom? 3 closed-circuit cameras watch this courtroom at all times. Also, we didn't want to bother animating them. The jurists have access to everything that transpires. The jurists judge well and judge cool. Now, see here, Prosecutor Gavin. I was going to say that. My apologies, Judge. Jurist. Today, judge today's trial coolly, if you would be so kind. The jurists are unbound by the letter of the law. They don't affect the trial with evidence, but by their feelings. And we're about to find out just what effect they're going to have. Very well, Prosecutor Gavin. The details of the case, if you would. The victim is the painter Drew Misham. He was killed in his own studio. His coffee was poisoned. By whom, you ask? By none other than the defendant, Vera Misham. There wasn't any poison in the coffee! Ah, tongue. Someone has been doing their homework. Indeed, poison was not present in the coffee, but on the mug itself. The mug? Ah, residue was found on the rim, I see. The autopsy report describes the manner of our victim's death. The court accepts this as evidence. Mishan's autopsy report added to the court record. According to this report, the victim's death was caused by atroquinine poisoning. The chemical compound that does not occur naturally. Lethal dosage is a mere 0.002 milligrams. Or should I say 0.002 of a milligram. A touch of atroquinine is in the body. Atroquinine, I think is how you'd say, is the touch of the Reaper's scythe. Very well, Prosecutor Gavin, you may present your witness. I have for you today a simple man for a simple case. A man who witnessed the murder in its entirety. Oh, it's gonna be brutal, of course. That journalist, no doubt. The witness will state his name and occupation.
Ah, right. Well, for starters, my name's Spark Bruchel. My job is a lone observer of the world.
In other words, a freelance journalist, right?
Ahem. If you don't mind, I'd like to state something for the record.
Yes, Mr. Bruchel.
I dislike conclusions, specifically the jumping to aspect of conclusions. Preconceptions make park sandbox of endless desert waste, end quote.
But you are a journalist. You said so yourself yesterday.
Well, that's true, yes. But you must understand, I stand before you today as a man with a dream. I'm offering you my testimony in exchange for exclusive rights to the story. Scoop turns Mr. Bruchel into that Mr. Bruchel, end quote.
Let's hear your testimony then, shall we? A simple case, eh, Gavin? For me, the jury is still out. I fucked that line up. The journalist's story.
I visited the studio around 9 o'clock that night to do the interview. The first outsider to enter the atelier. Journalistic history made, end quote. His daughter brought us coffee right after we started. And you know what happened next. Star falls, end quote. No one else entered the room besides her the whole time.
This is goofy face and clown-like rosy cheeks. Yeah, he's got rosy cheeks. He's got rosacea on his cheeks and nose, apparently.
That does sound like a simple case. Unless...
You were the one who poisoned him. What are you saying, Judge? Need I remind you the cameras are rolling today? I felt a need to be a bit dramatic.
You didn't do it, did you?
Me do a thing like that? Come on, that's like newsmaker making the news, end quote. Or even contemporary witch hunt, end quote. I know, wild accusations rock courtroom, end quote.
Rock indeed. Like when you want to leave that.
Hit it, Kevin.
Prosecutor Gavin sure looks like he's having fun.
I'm so happy for him.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Your cross-examination, please. That was said very well, Mr. Judge. Why, thank you, Mr. Judge. You're doing a very good job.
The journalist story.
I visited the studio around 9 o'clock that night to do the interview.
Hold it! Hold it! 9 o'clock at night? Isn't that a little late for an interview?
If the great painter Drew Measham says, come at 9 o'clock, believe you me, I go at 9. The first, and it was turned out, last interview with such a prolific painter.
Yeah, he would. He probably has says positive affirmations in the mirror every morning.
It's like, yes, you're a good judge. And you're handsome, too. And all the female witnesses would love to go on a date with you.
Right. Can you tell us what it was like when you arrived?
The first outsider to enter the atelier, journalistic history made, end quote.
Atelier? Okay, let me look that up. Atelier. Okay, I was saying that totally wrong. It's a French word, isn't it? A workshop or studio, especially one used by an artist or designer. Atelier. Atelier. Atelier? Yeah, atelier. Okay. Let me try that again in Bruce's voice.
The first outsider to enter the atelier, journalistic history made, end quote.
Oh, I forgot to push that one.
Hold it!
Hold it! You were the first reporter ever in Drew's studio?
Posterity will look back on that night as a turning point in journalistic history. A basically insignificant step for all mankind. But a giant step for that brutal guy, end quote.
That's pretty funny.
If no one on the outside ever had access to the studio, then it would serve to reason that the deed was done by an insider. By which he means Vera did it. So how did the epoch-making interview go?
His daughter brought us coffee right after we started.
Hold it! Would you mind being a little more specific?
Oh, let me tell you. Hey, I enjoy a cuppa. In fact, it all began when I was in 3rd grade. No, wait.
That's not what I meant. I believe I know what Air Forehead is driving at. This coffee the victim was served. Did anyone other than the defendant touch it? Right, that. That's what I was going to say. Really.
Well, now, if you've got a question to ask, you'd best straight up ask it. That's what I tell all the new recruits, several times if necessary. Right for a grade schooler. That's my motto. Which isn't to say I am...
Who touched the coffee?
Dunno. I was in the back, looking at the studio's equipment when she served it.
That doesn't help us.
And what happened next?
And you know what happened next. Star falls, end quote.
Hold it. What's this about a star falling?
Star falls? Huh. It's like an old telegram. Send money over.
Zowie, you don't know? That's like a journalism code word. An important personage passes away. A star falls. Get it?
But there's no gravity in space, is there? I wouldn't think stars could fall, really. Does this matter?
Ooh boy, this is good stuff, good stuff. How about star breaks? Nah, lax punch. I know. Star dies. Nah, that lacks imagination. Of course, you could go with Drew dies. Straight to the point. I like it.
I think we need to hear about something a little more substantial.
The moment of death, Brutal's coffee, the stars coffee. The moment of death, I feel like, is what I want to know about. Shall we do a little... Oh, I forgot my save thing, too.
Hold on. Boo, I got it.
I say boom, 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 then everybody say way-ho.
Boom, boom, boom.
I say boom, 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 then everybody say way-ho.
I'm going in.
I'm going in.
And save. Got it. Okay. Got our gum save. The moment of death. About when Mr. Mishian passed away.
Ooh boy, what a scene that was. He puts his coffee mug down with a crash, right? Yes, and then? Then the cold finger of death touches his spine. Life's flame sputters and fails. So cold was that touch, he could do naught but tremble uncontrollably. Actually, life's flame is a little tired. Life's river froze over. Yes, that's a go.
I think he's starting his article already.
Could you describe that a little more simply?
Well, as you can imagine, I was pretty surprised. He hit the floor, as they say. Artist seizure is final performance, end quote.
Atroquinine paralyzes the central nervous system. The body arcs back like a bow and limbs... that's quite enough of that. Oh, God. I hate to think about it. Some of us want to be able to sleep tonight, Gavin.
Oh, yeah? Well, I want details. Lots of juicy details.
For that, you can listen to our last year's hit single, Atroquinine, My Love, by the Gaviners. Available at all major music outlets. The point here is that the victim died of atroquinine poisoning. Well, Mr. Justice, how did you find that testimony? Not very important. I don't think it was important. I don't know. Damn it. Here, let me look at my hand. I'm just gonna say not important. We're gonna make another save for now, and we're gonna move on.
You'd think the moment of Mr. Misham's death would be important. Mr. Brutal's story really didn't tell us anything we didn't already know.
See, that's what I felt. Very well. Please continue with the testimony. I'm thinking we go back and we ask more about... It's going to be something unexpected. It's always like the weird one. Like, we actually have to ask about Brutal's coffee, and then we get the detail we want. Like, I'm thinking it's probably going to be what we got to do. So here, before I look at it, let's just give that a shot. First, we got more to press, though, so we'll come back around to that.
No one else entered the room besides her the whole time.
Hold it!
Can you say that for sure?
For sure? Sure, I'm sure. Your studio isn't a big place, kiddo. I'd know it if someone else had come in.
What if they had been hiding in there from before?
Why not stole it?
Even if someone had been hiding in the studio, they hardly could have poisoned that mug without anyone noticing.
You think I, Spark Brutal, would miss something as obvious as that? No way!
He sure makes it sound exciting. I guess that's his job.
There's only one moment we need to focus on, really.
The moment when Drew Mishim died?
Exactly. There has to be something there.
See, and that's why I asked him to describe that, but I don't... Well, okay, there was one thing he said that I thought was weird during that, and it was that his coffee cup came down with a crash, but his coffee cup is still all in one piece. So I don't think it came down with a crash, but I just wasn't sure how important that is. You know? Let's see. So let's go back to that moment. It was the Star Falls one. So then we'll press this.
Hold it!
There we go. A little fast on that one. Okay, we'll skip to the decision. I feel like, I don't know, this whole thing has stars all over it, so maybe that's what we go with. The Stars Coffee. Let's go with the Stars Coffee. Let's try that one.
You say Mr. Misham had the coffee, too. But did you actually see him drink the coffee?
Of course! He who sees it wins, but he who says it wins bigger, end quote. I live in a man sees dog eat dog and writes about it world. Yet, I guess I can't say I saw him drink it, really. He had one so-called sip, if that. Man puts lips to mug, drinks, end quote.
And that poison is quite virulent, I hear.
My stomach did a so-called somersault. Since I'd gulped down that coffee without so much as a second glance at it. Wait, maybe something's there. Some kind of so-called trick. Anyone want to venture a guess for the record?
Does this guy have a pause button?
Well, Mr. Justice, did you find that testimony valuable?
Did I find that valuable? No, 'cause he drank the coffee. He said he just took a sip. Yeah, I didn't find that one very important. Not important.
The coffee Mr. Misham drank. That has to be important somehow. Nah.
Very well, please continue with the testimony.
Alright, we'll try that one again. I'll try Brutal's coffee, but maybe I was right the first time, and it was that coffee cup crashing down. I just can't tell if that would be the detail. Because he didn't say it broke, he just said it came down with a crash. And I don't know if that necessarily implies it breaking. You know, because it wasn't broken. Because we investigated it. Alright, let's see. Press.
Hold it!
We're gonna go with Brutal's coffee this time.
So you drank the coffee that Vera served you too?
Of course. When someone serves you coffee, you drink it. That's what my old boss always used to say. Never did get what he meant by it, though.
But you're still alive. Which is to say, you didn't die.
Of course not. No point falling before you're a star, end quote.
That's not exactly what I was getting at. What were you getting at then? You know the poison was on the rim, not in the coffee.
Oh, yes. There were 2 cups on the tray she brought. And one of the cups had Drew's signature painted on the side.
No chance the guest would take that one by mistake, I guess.
Well, Mr. Justice, was that testimony important?
I'm gonna say it was not important. I think I was right about the coffee cup crashing. It's the only thing I got. That's the only thing that stood out to me.
Bruchel drank the coffee too. Doesn't look like this is going to lead to much.
Very well, please continue with the testimony.
Okay, back to where we started. Hold it!
Oh boy.
I feel like I should make one of those hello ones for Bruchel. I don't know if have I ever used that voice on a character before? Let's see. The moment of death is what we're gonna go. All right, we'll go over it again. About when Mr. Misham passed away.
Oh boy, what a scene that was. He puts his coffee mug down with a crash, right?
Yeah, with a crash, right? Like that's not very detailed. Kind of vague.
Yes, and then? Then the cold finger of death touches his spine. Life's flame sputters and fails. So cold was that touch, he could do naught but tremble uncontrollably.
I feel like that's a piece of new. Like he trembled uncontrollably.
Actually, life's flame is a little tired. Life's river froze over. Yes, that's a go.
I think he's starting his article already.
Could you describe that a little more simply?
Well, as you can imagine, I was pretty surprised. He hit the floor, as they say. Artist seizure is final performance. End quote.
Atroquinine paralyzes the central nervous system. The body aches back like a bow and limbs tremble. The throat burns.
Well, that's quite enough of that.
Some of us want to be able to sleep tonight.
Oh, yeah? Well, I want details. Lots of juicy details.
For that, you can listen to our last year's hit single, Atroquinine, My Love, by the Governors, available at all major music outlets, and Spotify and Apple, whatever. The point here is that the victim died of atroquinine poisoning.
Well, Mr. Justice, how did you find that testimony?
Very important. Well, as an account of the moment of the victim's death, I'd say it's very important. Please add it to the testimony.
Very well. The court requests that the witness add this account to his testimony. Those spasms, that was definitely death by poison.
Hold it! You say it was definitely death by poison. How can you be so sure?
Hey, look, I'm a journalist. I've seen a lot of things. And I've had more than my share of experience with so-called poisonings. Man eats fishy fish, goes bye-bye. End quote.
Food poisoning doesn't count. Should I get him to talk about something else?
Okay, now we're back to this. No need, the stars coffee versus coffee. Okay, let me look at a hint. I don't want to be chasing this one for a while. It sounds like it's telling me I did the wrong thing. Okay. Okay, this should have been obvious to me if I would have remembered a part of the atroquinine. I should have looked at the court record. Let me see if I can find this in the court record before I say anything about it. There's a detail we used. Yep. That's it. There's the contradiction right there on the screen. Okay. So he said that he put his lips to the coffee cup and then he was on the floor. It says right there, traces of the slow-acting deadly poison atroquinine were found on the rim. It wouldn't have done that. It would have taken a time for it to activate. So that's where he's lying. So it was the Stars coffee. Okay. We can go back.
You say Mr. Misham had the coffee too, but did you actually see him drink the coffee?
Course. He who sees it wins, but he who says it wins bigger. End quote. I live in a man sees dog eat dog and writes about it world yet.
It's so hard to say that. Yet.
I guess I can't say I saw him drink it, really. He had one so-called sip, if that. Man puts lips to mug, drinks, end quote.
That poison is quite virulent, I hear.
My stomach did a so-called somersault. Says I'd gulp down that coffee without so much as a second glance at it. Wait, maybe something's there. Some kind of so-called trick. Anyone want to venture a guess for the record?
Does this guy have a pause button?
Well, Mr. Justice, did you find that testimony valuable? Very important.
The victim drank his coffee, then immediately fell over?
Oh, yes. You can go to the press. Wait, you can go to the press with that one.
Your Honor, this is a vital piece of information. Please add it to the testimony.
Very well. The witness will add this to his testimony.
Vital, right. He had one sip, if that. The next moment he was on the floor.
Okay, so now we present.
Objection! Damn it. Objection!
You know what I have a problem with? A particular property of the poison used, atroquinine.
Oh, Prosecutor Gavin was quite clear about the poison. A lethal dosage of 0.002 milligrams paralyzes the central nervous system. If you drank that, even you, Mr. Justice, would be reduced to a quivering pile.
Why are you using me as an example?
Unfortunately, we weren't told everything. There was a vital omission in Prosecutor Gavin's information. An omission?
Atroquinine is as virulent as he says. But death doesn't come upon ingestion. Not immediately. That's because atroquinine is slow acting.
Slow acting?
According to one forensic scientist, Miss Emma Skye.
It's one of the most virulent poisons, but it is absorbed into the body astonishingly slow. It takes at least 15 minutes from the time of ingestion for adverse effects to show.
So I feel like that means that it was on his lips and then it got on the coffee cup because he took a sip, right? I feel like that's what we're gonna end up getting to at first. Right? That's the first step we gotta prove.
If we suppose that the moment Mr. Misham sipped the coffee was when he sealed his fate, then he would still have had time to he would still have had time left to enjoy his last cup of Joe.
Okay. I was not expecting him to say that. Nice one. Order, order! What is the meaning of this? Very rude from members. What's the meaning of this? If what the defense says is correct, why, that contradicts the entire testimony we just heard.
Well, Mr. Bruchel, anything to say on the record?
Slow acting. Slow act. It was virulent, all right. Even then, it had already begun digging its claws into the journalist.
He's working on his scoop.
It's Bruchel, yeah? Bruchel, let's take a trip back down memory lane.
Huh?
Did the victim really die the instant he took a sip? Think it over. This is vital.
You know what I think? I think that was a not-so-subliminal suggestion, end quote.
I admit it does cause a problem if he died when you say he did. I would be forced to say, Auf Wiedersehen to my simple case. Wiedersehen? I don't know how to say that. Why do you have to do this to me? And you would be forced to say farewell to your article.
Come again?
You can't write a story based on conjecture, can you? Oh, you watch him, dude. Then as the case drags on, other reporters will pick up the scent. And you'll be forced to kiss your exclusive scoop goodbye.
Scoop? Scoop.
What the fuck is he? So he licks the brush and then he uses it to wash his glasses? Dude, he's so weird.
Look, wait, just wait a second, just 1 second.
We're waiting, out with it.
I think I just recalled a so-called important detail. A revival of a recollection, end quote. A story survival, end quote.
Attorney utterly confused, end quote.
Actually, I did notice something when I visited the studio. I heard of poison that takes its sweet time, see?
But not what I've been saying for the last few minutes, apparently. Mr. Brutal, are you saying you noticed something that explains what happened?
You bet I am. The antidote for a poisonous contradiction, end quote, you might say.
Or, I still have no idea what you're talking about, end quote, I might say.
I figured it out, but only after the in-depth interview. See, thanks to my journalism skills, I know who poisoned that coffee.
Order, order, order! We'll play it again. Order!
Order, very rude.
Order, jury, on the camera. As far as I can tell, the witness is standing by his testimony that Mr. Measham died the instant after he drank.
Of course I'm standing by my testimony. In my dream of exclusive rights to this story.
I suppose it was too much to hope for. What was? Of course he wouldn't choose a simple case, not him.
Him? Who is this? Him. They're doing it again, dude.
Phoenix Wright, who else? Achtung, Herr Bruchel. Report for us, if you would. What is it that you noticed?
This court is a critical trial of the juris system. I'm afraid no room for doubt is permissible. You will testify to the court about what you noticed.
Witness testimony. What Bruchel noticed. Alright, I'm going to take a quick break and refill my water, because I'm out. And we'll be right back. Unfortunately, Bruchel's voice really gets my throat. I can tell you that. Alright, we'll be right back after these messages.
Please stand for the national anthem.
When you want a taste of America, and we got a culinary treat for you, Americanized beef is the way to go. If you take a bite into our ribeye steak, you'll no longer feel like a special snowflake. Americanized beef, make America taste great again.
I'm America the cow, and I put the red and red, white and blue. Eat me. Don't be a commie.
Americanized beef, make America taste great again.
Only at Omega Mart.
The challenge is Metroid. The power
is Nintendo. Defend the planet Cephas against the evil Mother Brain. It's survival or destruction. Do battle or die. Metroid only from Nintendo. Play Rad Racer. Play with power. It's turbo speed in 3D. It's treacherous tracks, hot cars, hairpin turns. One mistake and you'll roll. Rad Racer only from Nintendo. Now you're playing with power.
Head on, applied directly to the forehead. Head on, applied directly to the forehead. Head on, applied directly to the forehead. Head on is available without a prescription at retailers nationwide.
Like exactly where your hands are now.
Nope.
I'm glad you're back. I kind of missed having you around.
What's with these lips? Just like, what's going on?
I think it's time for you to meet him now, Mr. Lawyer Dude.
And there it is, all the Cyclops. Oh, what the fuck?
How do you do, Mr. Lawyer? I'm Matt on guard. Oh, weird. That door is open. Maybe I should go walk through it. Huh? What's that over there? I swear, I just saw something. Moited!
Oh no. You see all those exclamation points pop up? I don't know if I have all the ammo for this. Yeah, pop on in, girl.
Maya, I'm sorry.
Matt on guard is. Oh yeah, look who it is. Oh my god! Yes! Von Karma, I thought I would never be so happy to see Von Karma in my life. Oh, that makes me so happy. Ooh, there we go, right through the crack. Hacked you. Ah! It's like a something. Ooh, he hacked me. God, that's so close. How are you not dead yet? Oh yeah, she is dead. Okay, cool. Oh no, she's just very close. See you later. And that guy's like, what the fuck? Where'd that lady come from? I need to explore that kind of like the social VR a little bit more, because there's a lot of cool social stuff in VR, and you can have such like real experiences. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, I waited too long and now she went to bed. No! Hey, that's okay. I get to talk to Chloe a little bit more. Like, how was I so close, Noah? Well, how did I do that, dude? What the fuck, man? Ah, damn. Well, thanks for bringing everybody over here, Chloe. I've had a good stream. All we've been doing is try to romance our girlfriend? What? Did you guys see that? He just like dodge rolled from me, and now he's like a decrepit old man. What? He just like James Bond dodge rolled over here. What the hell? Oh man. Oh yeah, look how much fat we're losing, dude. Looks very sus when you do that. Oh, does it look sus when I do this to you? It does look sus. Not gonna lie. All right, I'm back. Thank y'all for sticking around. Let's continue, shall we? What Brutal noticed. Neptune, what's up? Good to see you, bud. Thank you, Stella.
When I arrived at the studio, Mr. Misham was at his desk. He seemed to be writing a letter, but he quickly sealed the envelope. I thought nothing of it at the time, of course. Now that I think about it, what if he was writing a suicide note?
Oh, thanks for the hearts, bud. A suicide note.
Yes, he had this look on his face. Man's face inscrutable as a quadratic equation, end quote.
Suicide? Poor Mr. Misham. That means Vera's innocent.
Would someone commit suicide in the middle of an interview?
Oh,
Very well. You may begin your cross-examination.
What Bruchel noticed.
When I arrived at the studio, Mr. Measham was at his desk. Hold it!
at his desk, what? Was there anyone at the studio other than Mr. Measham?
Well, his daughter Vera, of course.
Was anyone besides Mr. Measham and Vera present?
Not a single one. Not a cat, not a rat, not even a mouse. Skibbity-scat, scoobity-bop.
And the only person who didn't belong to that studio there was you. Wasn't it, Mr. Bruchel? You son of a bitch, it was you!
I know what you're doing. I know your game. Attorney uses classic Ramsden phenomenon ploy, end quote.
Ramsden phenomenon ploy. Is that something? Like is that a real thing? Let me look that up. Ramsden phenomenon ploy. See, it says plot is what it autofills at. Walter Ramsden was a British biochemist and physiologist. Discovered a phenomenon known as Pickering stabilization. Hold on, let me see if I can pull out something interesting from this. I don't know if this is the same. I don't know if this is related. The only other thing that came up was this literal quote. So I don't know if he's just making that up or what. I think this might be made up. If you intend to suggest that this reporter is a suspect, I'm sure you also intend to present evidence supporting that assertion, correct? In the meantime, let's move along, shall we?
He seemed to be writing a letter, but he quickly sealed the envelope.
Hold it! So he put the letter away when he saw you?
Early reporter gets worm, end quote. That's my secret.
I'm not sure I follow.
It's the night of the interview. I arrived 15 minutes ahead of schedule. The handle turns, the door opens, and I barge in.
Are you sure that's okay to do? I mean, isn't that unlawful entry, really? And also, he said he was there 15 minutes early? It takes 15 minutes for a troquinine to take effect? A little weird.
Mr. Measham sure seemed to think so. You should have seen him. He crammed his letter into that yellow envelope as fast as he could. I know a secret when I spot one, and that was one.
It does seem significant. Well, Mr. Justice?
I wonder. It does have the ring of something important.
Add to testimony or no need? Let's add it. Why not? I don't see any risk there.
The defense finds this testimony vital, Your Honor.
Very well. Please add it to the testimony then.
Hey, why not? My account comes free of charge.
It's a free account. It's kind of fun. That's a fun pun.
It was a yellow envelope. I heard it was left at the crime scene.
It wasn't yellow, it was red.
Hold it!
He also wasn't writing in it because it was an old letter.
And you saw him seal this yellow envelope with the letter?
Hey, don't look at me like that. I saw what I saw.
Apollo, you think this might be
Our big break, yeah. What I need is to show some decisive evidence now.
I thought nothing of it at the time, of course.
I know we probably need to show the red envelope, but let's keep on pressing, baby.
Hold it!
You didn't think anything might go wrong at the time?
Hey, when I go in for an interview, that's what I'm there to do. Interviewer finds looking more effective than caring. End quote.
Finds looking more effective than caring. Okay. So what about now? Thinking back on it, did you sense anything strange in Mr. Meesham's behavior?
Well, yeah, that's why I'm telling you all this to begin with.
Very well, continue with your testimony.
Now that I think about it, what if he was writing a suicide note?
Hold it! Suicide note? Hold it! Come on. Hold it! A suicide note?
Well, yeah. Don't quote me or anything. I'm just saying it's a possibility, you know?
So you didn't actually check the letter?
Of course not. It was sealed. Contents of a can unknown until can is opened. Wait. Contents of can unknown until can is opened. End quote.
Okay. You can always check the label.
Do you think Mr. Meesham was writing a suicide note?
If he was, that would solve this case in a jiffy.
Kinda makes me wonder about that letter.
Alright, let's press that. Yeah, he says yellow envelope with a little gum safe. And then we shall present the red envelope. Oops, I meant to use the voice command. Damn it. As it so happens, there was a single letter in a desk drawer at the scene. In a red envelope.
What?
Prosecutor Gavin. Yes. Was a yellow envelope found at the scene of the crime? Unfortunately, no. But air forehead. It's easy to mistake the color of an envelope. I guess. But not this envelope. You see, it was postmarked already, 7 years ago.
Well, Mr. Brutal, I can explain that. Drew, right? He wanted to get the letter in the envelope pronto. Get it out of sight out of my beady eyes, right? So he grabbed the nearest envelope and crammed away.
What about the whole red and yellow envelope contradiction, chump?
Well, Mr. Justice, have you anything to say to the witness's claim?
That night, the victim put a letter he had been writing in a red envelope. It's impossible because the letter's old, right? So we got it's possible or it's impossible. Do another gum save. It's impossible! That's impossible. Ah, I like your expression. So full of confidence. It's simple, really. As it just so happens, the defense team investigated the contents of this envelope. With, the assistance of a forensic scientist. What? Note that this letter is addressed to Drew Meesham.
No!
Why would he address a letter to himself? Let alone send a suicide note to himself.
I've been scooped!
Order! Order!
Order! Very rude for members. Order!
Mr. Brutal, can you explain this to the court? Oh, my. How could I have forgotten? I suppose this happens to the best of us. Reporter gets old, forgets lots, end quote.
I'm still waiting for an explanation, Mr. Brutal.
Well, that's the thing. See? After he put his letter in that envelope, Mr. Meesham sat there searching his desk drawer for something.
His desk drawer?
Yes, a stamp. A so-called postage stamp, end quote.
A stamp? Whatever for?
Well, to mail his letter. What else? And then, why yes, I think I saw him put it in his letterbox. Yes, it was a little yellow. Oh, it was a yellow envelope, and he put it in that box.
Well, apparently, this yellow envelope.
Oh, how I wish it did.
Damn it, I didn't get to read what he said.
Just think if that were a suicide note. What a story. Star writes suicide note in front of reporter. Falls, end quote.
Ahem! As I was saying, that has nothing to do with this case. That said,
Yes, Your Honor.
it makes me wonder about the contents of that red envelope. Yes, what are the contents? It was basically like a contract for, like, the forgeries, right? $100,000 is quite a good deal of money. I could use that to buy my beach home.
So this was from 7 years ago, yeah?
So am I finished? Here, I mean. Am I finished here? I was thinking of, going home to start writing.
I hate to say what should be pretty obvious to anyone, but when you catch the scent of a story, you make that, rather unique face. What the hell?
Come on! Attorney has active imagination, little else, end quote.
Even I noticed something, and my eyes aren't what they used to be. You know, I'm starting to understand what all this perceiving stuff is about.
Judge has active imagination, end quote.
Please continue with your testimony. Tell us about the scent of the story.
Hey, I'm the one asking the questions here. Usually.
Witness testimony.
The scent of a story.
Actually, it took a bit of work to get the thumbs up on the interview. Reporter leverages story, gets his interview, end quote. The story concerned a certain case from 7 years ago. That red envelope probably had something to do with it. Say what you will, but Drew's talent was without compare.
Thank you for the love, Command Stella. Appreciate you. And we all love you, too. So you threatened to go to the press with this story. That's how you got your interview. Blackmail?
Well, yes. I mean, no. It wasn't exactly I'm not...
Something wrong, Mr. Brutal?
Look. This is my story. My tidbit. Journalist info is livelihood, end quote.
I see.
Well, you have me chatting here, way in here. What's going on out there? What if some Wally Wordsworth or Sally Scooper gets wind of my story? They would be going to the press while I'm going to waste.
The court feels your pain, Mr. Brutal. Mr. Justice, let's pick up the pace.
A certain case 7 years ago. Wait, 7 years ago?
Tracy's father? It's all gonna come down to Tracy's father for the climax. That'd be kind of cool. Hopefully he's still kicking it somewhere. The scent of a story. Oh, we have our check this out. We got our bracelet. It's activating. Must be when he does that nose thing. That's probably why they just pointed it out. All right.
Actually, it took a bit of work to get a thumbs up on the interview. Hold it!
The victim, Drew Measham, had an aversion for reporters. Sorry, I said that weird. An aversion for reporters?
Boy, I guess. Not even my considerable charms did much for him, and I'm super charming. All the ladies tell me so. Until I finally got my thumbs up, that is.
Maybe you can elaborate on that bit for us.
A reporter leverages story, gets his interview, end quote. Hold it. Hold it.
Exactly what sort of story was this?
Oh, a little one, like I said. Nothing more, nothing less, nothing in between, end quote. I might have suggested I had a lead on this particular story, but I didn't threaten or cajole or nothing, honest.
So a suggestion was enough to get an interview. Mr. Measham must have really wanted to keep it under wraps.
The story concerned a certain case from 7 years ago.
Hold it! A certain case. 7 years ago? Tell us, what case?
Let me state one thing, Mr. Attorney. You can quote me on this. I can't talk about the case.
Why not?
It's about journalistic pride, and staunchness, and credibility, and connections. Journalist reveals sources only over his dead body, end quote. So what'll it be? Gonna strangle me? Dead men don't tell no tales.
He sounds pretty determined not to talk.
Our chances of breaking his will aren't looking good.
The red envelope probably had something to do with it.
Hold it! On the one hand, we have your story, and on the other, this letter. What makes you think the two are related?
Oh, I was just saying it's possible. Call it reporter's intuition, end quote. Hey, I saw a lot of things. You going to pick all them apart? Be my guest.
All of them? No, just the incredibly suspicious ones.
Speak for yourself. I think we might be pressing all. I see. Anything else to add about Mr. Measham?
Say what you will, but Drew's talent was without compare.
Hold it! Just how amazing was Mr. Measham's talent?
Huh? Ooh, wee boy, I mean, hey, he's a star, man. A star. The flow of his brush is like a great, undulating river across the canvas. Artist paints lights up studio like sun, end quote.
This guy is full of wacky gestures. That one just now was wackier than usual.
He looks kind of nervous to me, Apollo.
Definitely. I'm sensing something different than before. I'm sensing something different. Hey, what's up, Bruno? Welcome in, dude. How goes it? Hopefully you're doing well. Good stream earlier, my dude.
Maybe it's time to bring out you know what.
That testimony left a bad taste in my mouth.
It all makes sense. Nothing jumps out as ridiculous.
I wonder what this story he's talking about is. Must have been good to get an interview with a famous recluse like that.
Something powerful enough to drag Drew Measham out of hiding. I wonder. Maybe it had something to do with Mr. Measham's art?
Maybe. So is he going to somehow be connected to Trucy's father? Because he's a magician, right? So I wonder how that's going to circle around. I guess the interview thing could be the connection because they're both artists, kind of, and they're getting interviewed by the same guy. So I don't know. I wonder how that'll come around. Thanks, man. It's all good. I've slightly cleared the drive of snow. Oh, nice. There you go. Yeah, Panda had shown us a picture of his surroundings, and it's very snowy there right now, it looks like. Had it been getting warmer over there? thought you guys were having some pretty good weather for a while. I guess it's kind of a flash freeze, huh? It's not like we haven't had the same thing. It was getting really warm, and all of a sudden we got a bunch of rain, and it's like cold again. It's like, ah, damn. But not snow. I think we had snow a couple weeks ago, though. Alright, we gotta look for him brushing his tongue. I think that's the one. Oh, no, he didn't brush his tongue. A certain case from 7 years ago. Let's take a look at this one. Here, let me switch to the screen. The UK weather can never be relied on for its consistency. Yeah, same thing around here, man. I've grown up in an area just like that. See if he does like any swallowing or anything. No. Just look really close at his face. Maybe this is not the one. Stop. Story concerned a certain case from 7 years ago. But probably had something to do with it. He looks around a lot with this one. Let's try this one. Nothing is standing out to me. He doesn't have too many like features that he seems like he'd be messing with. Maybe his eyes dart back and forth. Dude, his eyes look so creepy in that bottom screen right there. No thanks. Visuals and nightmare fuel, by the way. Oh yeah, exactly, dude. I agree. Alright, let's go back. Yeah, he's such a weirdo, dude. Ooh. Let's try this last one. I'm not sure, dude. I'm so bad at these. What would he be doing? Darting his eyes around or something? Might have to look up a hint for this one. Sorry, I've not gotten very much sleep the last couple nights. I mean, I haven't gotten a pretty good amount compared to some people, but not my usual amount. A little sleepy. Let's see here. Let me look up a hint. my gosh, really? Alright, I am on the right one. I got very close. Let's hear it again. It's one of his armpits, apparently. Okay, now that one must be his other one then. It says here it's one of them. Oh, yep, there it is. What the fuck, dude? I would have never thought of that. That he starts sweating under his arm. I mean, that doesn't surprise me. You know, I mean, look at him. But wouldn't have thought the game would go that far. Okay, got it.
Gotcha!
Sweat much, Mr. Brutal?
Yeah, well... My man can't help his glands, you know.
It's more than that. When Mr. Misham's talent was mentioned, you suddenly began to sweat buckets. You're hiding something about his talent.
That's ridiculous.
Evidence time. Let's show where Mr. Misham's true talent lay.
It just so happens I have evidence showing the talent mentioned in the letter. Which would be his forged paintings, I guess? Is that what it is? I'd be fucked by the armpit logic. I am a compulsive pathological liar. Yeah. Because it's like we're supposed to find their tell is like, I don't know how I felt about this one. Because like, okay, so the Ace Attorney series, like Phoenix had this like mystical thing that he got from Maya because she's like a shaman, or she's a medium. And so he got this thing called a Magatama, and it let him like see into people's souls, I guess you could say. But that's effectively what it was, is these locks would come down in chains, and people would not tell us a piece of information while we were investigating, unless we had pieces of evidence to be like, well, I think whatever you're hiding has to do with this, and do with that. And that was pretty cool. I like that. But this one hasn't been as cool, because first of all, we rarely use it. And second of all, I never really know where to look or anything. It's so, like, vague. So, well, I think it's, you know, cool that Apollo, for the story purposes, has this talent. I do think that's cool. I think the mechanic, as far as game-wise, while it looks cool, it doesn't feel cool. You know, like I always seem to like have too much trouble with it. I kind of have to just use a hint. I think it's been like once or twice when I've not looked up a hint, to be honest. But let's see. Showing his talent. So it's gonna be the actual painting, right? The hidden painting. Oh, there we go. Thank you for the honor. I appreciate that. Alright, let's present this. Let me go ahead and do a little gum save. Take that! This painting was found in Mr. Misham's studio. There are two problems with this painting. The first is it wasn't painted by Mr. Misham. The second is that there was another painting in the studio, which looked exactly like this one, except it was only half done. Then we have a letter discussing a payment of $100,000, which suggests a certain business operation. The business of making forgeries. Oh! Got him. Wasted. Should we do one of these, I feel like? Got him. That is all, Your Honor. I rest my case.
Everyone, please, everyone! Can we keep this private, please? This is my story, my scoop!
Forgery. That's a serious crime. You want to lurk? I appreciate the lurk. Thanks, buddy. Oh. Your name didn't come up very far, but it was right here. Getting pulled down by Cthulhu. Thanks for lurking.
Drew Measham is known as an artist these days. But there were rumors he dabbled in another kind of art until a few years back.
Another art, meaning forgery.
Drew Measham was talented, all right. Talented at making precise, detailed fakes. A fact that certain criminal elements were quick to discover.
Criminal elements?
Criminal elements?
What? You can't seriously be talking about...
Exactly. I'm talking about forging evidence.
Oh. Forging evidence. All coming back around to Mr. Right, perhaps.
The rumors started circulating 7 years ago.
So he forged the evidence that... Okay, this is my prediction. Because it was 7 years ago. That's when Phoenix did a case for Trucy. He used forged evidence and got disbarred, right? So I think that's why he chose this case for this thing. So this is all an attempt for Phoenix to get his attorney badge back or something. To become an attorney again or something. I'm just assuming, because I think that what we're going to say is that he was given evidence that was forged and he didn't know it. And this case is going to prove that, maybe? I mean, I don't know. But it's all a part of his secret mission. So perhaps.
7 years ago? So are we to understand that this letter, this payment of $100,000 was for? Exactly. Forged evidence nets tidy profit, end quote.
Order, order. Order.
Very rude, the members. Order.
Why, it's like our victim was living a double life.
Aha! This is my chance.
So the victim had ties to the criminal world, right? He could have had plenty of enemies we know nothing about. This is my first time hearing of this criminal world. We certainly found no criminal connections when we conducted our investigation. But how do you explain all this money? You have to admit that there's a possibility of some illegal activity here. But there is no proof tying this letter to our case. That's true. Our case was and remains simple from the beginning. Only the defendant could have poisoned that mug that night. And you, of course.
Hey, the only thing I poison is my pen when I'm writing reviews.
Mr. Brutal, your testimony to this point has been quite unreliable. It doesn't speak well of your reporting acumen.
What are you talking about? My journalism journalism so solid you could stand on an elephant on it, end quote.
In any case, let's hear a summarized recap of your testimony. If we can ascertain the situation in that studio from the recap, the trial is over.
Apollo! What's he talking about?
The cross-examination showed Mr. Brutal didn't have reason or means to poison him. As long as there's no other suspects, then the killer had to be Vera. That's what. This next testimony is our last chance. Mr. Brutal, your testimony, please. The interview, a recap.
The only other person in the studio that night was the defendant. It was Vera who poured the coffee. She admitted as much herself. The only thing that touched Drew's lips during the interview was that mug. And nothing left that studio after he died. Nothing. Clearly, the only one who could have poisoned him was his daughter.
A nice testimony, clear, succinct, and without room for doubt.
Aw, shucks. You really think so?
I believe this clarifies the situation that night. Very well, Mr. Justice. You may begin your final cross-examination.
Right. Still have one trump card left to play. and I won't let this trial end until I use it.
The only other person in the studio that night was the defendant. Hold it!
But that doesn't prove Vera poisoned it. How many times have we heard that one, Airforehead? The poison reached its victim via that coffee mug. I don't understand how it couldn't be the other way. What if he had the poison in his mouth and then he drank a sip of coffee? Why can't that be it? And from where did that mug come from? Not to beat a dead horse again and again, but perhaps you could fill us in.
I'm on it. You need a horse beat? I'm your man. I'll beat a fucking horse. It was Vera who poured the coffee. She admitted as much herself. Hold it!
And you witnessed her pouring the coffee.
Of course I didn't witness it. When she came in with that tray, the coffee was already poured and a-steaming.
Let us not forget the defendant had admitted to pouring the coffee herself. I heard her statement. I poured, I served, and I killed. She didn't say that.
What?
That last part was a little joke.
I don't think I'm gonna get anywhere with this coffee mug. I need to find another weak spot in this case.
The only thing that touched Drew's lips during the interview was that mug. Hold it!
You sure about that?
Well, to be really precise, I was busy gobbling mint candies the whole time.
One of those candies might have been poisoned. Yet at the time of the autopsy, no fresh fragrance of mint filled the room. And no mint residue was found.
That was a long shot anyway.
Don't tell me you're still trying to prove this. You think the victim ate, drank, and otherwise ingested something other than coffee?
Well, Mr. Justice, if you have some proof.
The possibility is there, I can feel it. Just maybe not prove it. Not yet. Impossibility isn't going to cut it, not now.
Mr. Misham ingested that poison via a route other than that coffee. And then I just said I couldn't prove it, but then it's like, well, you want to prove it? He ingested it other than coffee. Let me take a look what I got. Gonna check it out. I don't think I can prove it. What does this say? Gamer envelope. That has probably not little to do with what we're talking about at the present moment. What was this? Tiny frame? Frame measuring 2 inches by 2 inches bears traces of deadly poison, atroquinine. I guess it could be this. So maybe I'll say I can prove it and we'll go with this. Let me go back and we'll gum save. I can prove it. Proof is possible.
I gotta risk it.
Oh, excellent. Let's see your proof then. Please show us your evidence. What evidence shows that the victim wasn't poisoned via his coffee mug?
I can only think it was the tiny frame. Take that! Nope. Must I explain this over and over and over? We don't need possibilities here, Airforehead. We need proof. I know that. You should also know that every proof has its moment. Perhaps you're a bit early.
I can tell you what we know at this point. The victim put nothing to his mouth but that coffee mug. I'll tell you that.
Another hole in this case that needs plugging before I can prove anything. But first things first, I better uncover a weak spot before I try to strike again.
On with the cross-examination. And nothing left the studio after he died. Nothing.
Hold it! Hold it! Hold it! Hold it! Not one thing? You're sure?
Yep, sure as can be. As sure can be. Well, with one exception.
One exception? What?
A journalist Spark Bruchel does interview, leave studio, end quote. Come on. It's a joke, get it? Not funny, I know, but still.
Did something leave the studio that night? Why does that sound familiar? Where have I heard something like that before?
Where have I? I don't know. Now that we've proven our witness is a comedian of sorts, I'd like to turn to our defense attorney before returning to the testimony. Do you have any idea what, if anything, might have left the studio that night? Court record? What left the studio that night? I guess the letter did, apparently. It's the only thing I can think of. That's the most obvious answer, is the letter left, because it's empty. Because apparently that yellow envelope was there, and it was no longer there. So, we're going to go for that one. A little gun save. Just one thing. I think one thing might very well have left the studio that night, actually. A certain something that has vanished from the crime scene. By which you mean something other than our witness. Of course. Don't tell me, Vera Misham. Believe me, any comic relief I may provide is entirely unintentional. Then let's see what you've got for us, Mr. Justice. Well, this thing wasn't at the crime scene, so I can't show it to you. But I do have evidence that shows it could have been taken from the scene. Which would be the actual letterbox itself. Take that! This is the only link between that studio and the outside world. A letterbox? What did Mr. Bruchel just tell us? When he entered the studio on the night of the murder, the victim had just finished writing a letter.
Yeah, I said that, and yeah, it's true.
Furthermore, you went on to tell us that he put the letter in a yellow envelope and put it in the letterbox. Oh. But that very same letterbox was empty. In other words, that night the yellow envelope disappeared. Ah, yes, intriguing. So an envelope has disappeared from the scene of the crime. Of course, this changes nothing. Huh? He has a point, Mr. Justice. What we're trying to figure out here is how the poison got into Mr. Misham. Is it really important that this envelope the witness says he saw disappeared? Well, if it did disappear, then something did leave the studio that night. That seems very important to me. Very well, then. The witness will add this to his testimony.
You got it.
I still think this fails to change anything, Air Forehead.
I wouldn't be so sure. A letter disappeared from the crime scene that night. This is exactly the opening I've been looking for.
A letter was put in the post from the studio, but I hardly think that matters.
Hold it. Trying to downplay it, huh? Nothing could be more serious than an envelope disappearing from that studio. And you were hiding that fact from us.
Yes, well, actually...
I don't argue the possibility that a letter disappeared from that studio. But Forehead, isn't there a much more serious question before us? Right. How Mr. Mishin was poisoned, I know. But Mr. Brutal's testimony has changed, which means the facts of the case have too. And what he's told us means something entirely different now. I'm starting to think.
Let's keep thinking, Apollo.
Clearly, the only one who could have poisoned him was his daughter.
Hold it! Hold it! You say clearly as though it were obvious. But this claim that the defendant poisoned the victim is merely conjecture.
Ah, yes, well, you see, in my business, it's all about making the most ridiculous things sound right. A bad habit, I know. Yes, well, actually, I guess this is more of a case of ridiculous journalist sounds wrong, end quote.
The court is forced to agree with you. Please refrain from wild conjecture.
Understood, loud and clear.
If only I could believe that.
What do you think, Apollo? Everything he says seems so not flawed. Well, that's kind of what you want from a testimony, really.
I need to keep my eye on what matters. How and why was Drew Measham killed? You report the coffee. It's not going to change. But if that coffee didn't kill him, I need to find out what did. And prove it. Okay, so it all comes down to I think the thing where I'm like, well, I can prove what did it, and I did the wrong thing. Look at the hand real quick. Okay, so that's interesting. I was very close here. How do I get there? Okay, so I was right on the tiny frame. That's where the poison came from, and that's what Gavin gave me the hint that you might be too early, because I was too early. It's funny that they put that in the game. The game actually tells you that this time. Instead of like maybe the picture of the banana. So I've done everything right so far. I just gotta trigger this thing here. So ignore the new statement and press on the third statement. The only thing that touched Drew's lips during the interview okay, so this is back to where I was, where I pushed the tiny frame. And so I was right to do it then. I just needed to wait until we talked about the letterbox, I guess. So I just did them out of order, but I did the right thing. Or if that counts.
You sure about that? Well, to be really, really precise, I was busy gobbling mint candies the whole time.
One of those candies might have been poisoned. Yet at the time of the autopsy, no fresh fragrance of mint filled the room. And no mint residue was found. It was a long shot anyway. Don't tell me you're still trying to prove this. You think the victim ate, drank, or otherwise ingested something other than coffee? Well, Mr. Justice, if you have some proof. The possibility is there, I can feel it. Just maybe not prove it. Not yet. And possibility isn't going to cut it, not now. Mr. Measham ingested that poison via a route other than that coffee. Okay, let's see. And I'll go ahead and do a little gum save, but we're gonna say I can prove it this time, and then do this exact same thing I did last time. But it's gonna work, I hope. Proof is possible. Here goes nothing. You do understand what we need, yeah? Proof, Airforehead, not possibilities. Of course. And Prosecutor Gavin, I hope you understand. I'm ready to give you that proof. What did you say? I have proof of the disappearing envelope.
I saw him writing a letter, I did!
Which was picked up by the mailman, I assume. Of course, which means that envelope had a stamp on it. A stamp. Ah. As we all know, stamps come with dried glue on the back. In order to use the glue, you have to wet it by licking the stamp. Dude accidentally poisoned himself, or somebody gave him a stamp that was poisoned? No one worth talking to actually licks stamps in this day and age. No one worth talking to, damn dog. Even if you wanted to talk to him, you couldn't. He's dead after all. Okay, so he licked the stamp, but wait. How does that explain the atroquinine on the rim of the coffee mug? If he licked the back of the poison stamp, the poison would get on his tongue, yes? Yeah? What would then happen if he put his coffee mug to his mouth, Those traces on the mug weren't the killer's doing. It was the other way around. What? The coffee mug didn't poison Mr. Measham. Mr. Measham poisoned the coffee mug himself! Order, order, order! How rude.
Rude for members, order!
Very rude. But that doesn't... does it? Recall, if you would. Atroquinine is a slow-acting poison, yes? The poison entered his body when he put the stamp on that envelope. But his time wasn't up until the very moment he touched his lips to that cup of joe. Order!
Oh, let me write this down. Cup of joe.
You have something to add, Mr. Brutal? Uh-oh. His nose is picking up another scent.
As I believe I mentioned earlier. Well, that's the thing, see? After he put his letter in that envelope, Mr. Measham sat there searching his desk drawer for something. Yes, a stamp! A so-called postage stamp, end quote. But you know, I don't seem to remember him ever finding one.
Maybe he'd just run out. Incidentally, we searched the desk drawer at the scene of the crime. There were no stamps, not a single one. That does pose a problem. How will you prove that the stamp was coated with poison? Actually, I'm glad no other stamps were found. It makes proving the stamp he used was poison possible. Good show, good show. You can't even prove there was a stamp at the scene in the first place. Well, let's hear what the defense has to say anyway. Where's your evidence that proves the existence of this poison stamp?
The tiny frame with poison in it.
Take that! Well, that certainly is a cute little frame, but by little, I mean really little. It was on the victim's desk, Your Honor. Quite empty, as you can see for yourself. I noticed that too during my inspection. So what? Apparently you weren't as observant as you should have been. You see, when you saw this frame, it was missing something quite important. If the jury would look to Exhibit F. I don't know, we have so many, I just threw one out there. Missing something? Yes, a pale bluish stain on the inside of the frame. Atroquinine residue. What? Why wasn't I told about this?
The frame is only 2 inches square. The face of the frame is even smaller. Maybe an inch wide at most.
You aren't saying.
Oh, but I am. Tell me, what fits in such a small frame? A commemorative stamp, perhaps?
Ooh, get him.
Order! 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 Order!
The members order!
There's been a lot of orders today.
The poison stamp was in this frame?
Impossible.
Prosecutor Gavin.
Why would he put something like that on his desk? Don't tell me he had it there so he could commit suicide if the mood struck.
You know, can I say something? I had a thought, see?
What, Mr. Brutal? And please stop jittering around like that. You're freaking me out.
The victim was a forger, right? There's a lot of money in that line of work. Forger forges friends, makes enemies too. End quote.
So the poison stamp might have been a murder weapon aimed at him. Oh, rich. That's rich. Leave the ridiculous flights of fancy to the Gavineers. Song lyrics, please. Finally, something we agree on. The stamp was a murder weapon. Nonsense. If Barney Stinson was a lawyer, I'll have to look up who Barney Stinson is. Is that Clavier? Murder is a simple business. Who would go to such lengths? No one. Oh, I disagree. Come again? Recall, if you would, the victim's reclusive lifestyle. Drew Misham hid from the world. He avoided meetings. His only contact with the outside world was the mail.
The mail? I know what that is.
Now, if you wanted to kill someone you couldn't meet, but you knew red letters, a stamp would be the perfect weapon. Ridiculous. Where's your proof? I want proof. Show us evidence that this poison stamp was sent to him as a murder weapon. I might not have evidence per se. Things are finally coming together.
What is it, Apollo? Your fists are trembling.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Hide media share. That would be a good one to maybe cut out sometime. Hide media share. In fact, let me copy that one. Okay, it's not let me copy text in the chat anymore. There we go. Copy. That could be fun because I have the Gavin one here, so I can pull it out. That'd be a fun one to have too. Was that from How I Met Your Mother? Is that what that was from? I didn't even look at it long enough to see what it was from. It looked like it was Neil Patrick Harry. Ooh, yeah, it was. There you go. I never really watched How I Met Your Mother, but I know that NPH is on it. I know that's for sure.
Your fists are trembling.
I think I know what happened. I don't believe it, but I can see it. I think I know how Mr. Measham was killed.
Well, fill us in, Mr. Justice.
A certain piece of evidence points to the truth, Your Honor. I can show you how someone with the intent to kill sent Mr. Measham the stamp of death. Oh, can I? Oh, God. Let's look at the autopsy report. Death of atrocyanine poisoning. Estimated time of death. Let's go look at the whole thing. No, that doesn't really say much. Extra tickets for a premiere showing on the Grand Illusion to be performed by the magician Violent Gramarye. That doesn't have anything to do with this. Gramarye envelope. Mr. Bride, do not open until the time is right. Is it this it? Is the time right? Reviewers card, definitive business card, the address of True Studios on the front. With envelope found in the victim's desk drawer contains 2 sheets of writing paper. Found in True Studio notable large peach in the foreground. Letterbox, tiny frame. Portrait obtained at True Studio. It's a bit of the middle is supposed to be a person. The only thing I can think would be possibly the envelope that, I mean, it's pretty early in this case to be opening this up. Papa Snake, get out of here. Hey, what's up? Never, how's it going, man? Welcome in, welcome in. Let me see. Alright, let's look at one more piece of evidence then. Let's look more at this. There's something in here that should tell me what we need to know. Mr. Drew Misham, I've deposited the $100,000 in the designated account. Please send the receipt once you've confirmed the transfer. Sign the papers and send in the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp within however many days. So that's okay. This was telling him to use a stamp. So there we go. Got him. And let's present this. Take that. Gotta run away, dude. Bed is calling. Have a great stream, everyone. Sounds good, man. You have a good night. I'm sure we'll be wrapping up pretty soon. I think we're actually pretty close to the end of this section. I'm going to try to just do one section at a time, because I really don't like ending in the middle of a section. Isn't this the envelope, the one from 7 years ago? Think about the text of the letter again. There were 2 pages in the envelope. This is page 1. And this is page 2. I want to draw your attention to one phrase in particular. Send in the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp within 3 days. The enclosed stamp, Your Honor.
Ah. In other words, if I have this straight, the stamp, poison, on the stamp, lick, lick, gasp, end quote.
Lick, lick, gasp. Nice one, Brutal.
Now, what if he had done exactly as the letter asked? He would sign the document, put it in the envelope, and put the stamp on it, right? Then he would put it in his letterbox.
15 minutes would have elapsed between affixing the stamp and mailing the letter. But the clock started ticking, and when the time came, he drew his last breath. And the murder weapon would be taken away from the scene.
Quite conveniently, thanks to the postal system.
It's an advertisement to the postal system. Kill people with stamps that are poisoned. The postal system. Such a splendid imagination you have, Air Forehead. Let me confirm one thing with you, if I'm right. Or if I might. So, this poison stamp was inside this envelope from 7 years ago, yeah? Is that what you'd have us believe? Really? Well...
It is a little bit of a stretch, but there's a possibility.
Yes, a very small possibility. How small, I wonder? A poison stamp in this envelope. A stamp that then became the murder weapon. How do you intend to prove this seeming coincidence?
Well...
It was 7 years ago. We don't even know who sent that letter.
And your answer is silence. I see. Very well, I move to It's not nice to pick on the Fräulein Clavier. Oh, ooh, is this his brother? It's gonna sound exactly the same. I'll just give them both the same voice. Oh my god, it is! Oh, that's Emma. Never mind. Wait, what? What just happened? It's because you said Fräulein or whatever. Then why did Emma say that? Ah, Emma! I'd much rather see Emma. Because that other guy's supposed to be in jail, right? We sent his ass to prison in the first case. He was also our mentor, though.
Ah, Emma. Well, like my Christoph Gavin impression? Did I sound like him?
Don't quit your day job. Don't you have a crime scene to be looking after, Fräulein Detective?
Someone had to come dig you all out of this mess you're making of this case.
Mess?
You know, none of this would happen if you just trusted in science a little more.
Oh, damn. Okay, so we're not going to hit the end of the trial quite yet. Okay. We're going to be doing trial, the part 1 and part 2. So we still got a little more to go. That's fine. We got like another hour and a half.
You know, none of this would have happened if you just trusted in science a little more. You could find out if that stamp was in that envelope easy.
Care to explain yourself, Fräulein Detective?
Glare at me all you want, but science is on my side. It's all in the residue, right?
That's right! The poison detection spray. Produce the red envelope at once. You can open it on the authority of the court. Boom! Now we can clearly read it. Let's see. Now we're gonna pop down here. Spray some detection reagent. We're gonna reagent this. Love agenting things. Oh, boom! I think we found it, Judge. Well, would you look at that?
No mistaking it. That's atroquinine residue.
I don't believe it. A murder weapon from the past. Now, 7 years later, it bears its fangs at last. Absolutely outrageous. Tell me why. Tell me why. Why didn't this murder take place 7 years ago?
Well, there is one possibility. Maybe Mr. Measham figured it out.
Figured what out?
He realized that the person who sent that letter wanted him dead. So he sent the reply with a different stamp.
And put his decisive evidence in the frame? What? Crucial. You're still here? Oh man, I thought you'd left. Oh, I guess I did smell cabbage.
Can I make a statement here? On the record? I, Spark, Razor-Tooth Brutal, claim this scoop is mine. Drew Measham killed in cold blood. By sender of 7-year-old letter, end quote. No. Maybe something more succinct. Star falls after 7-year delay, end quote.
We got another one. Order! 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 I see no room for further argument here. Although I admit this is all coming as quite a shock. I think that the murder weapon reached his mouth after 7 years. Or to think it is. The stamp is a ticket straight to afterlife, end quote. They're all doing it now.
Uh-oh, I think the witness is a bad influence on our judge.
They almost all are. I see no need for further debate on this matter. The sender of that letter 7 years ago could hardly have been our defendant.
Apollo!
I think we just won. Very well.
This court finds the defendant. Oh shit. Gavin, you son of a bitch, and your sweet air guitar. Is this the bright future of our legal system? And don't we need the jurors to say that? Prosecutor Gavin. A ticket to the afterlife from 7 years ago. Tickets for Gavin's shows are invalid after 2 weeks. But it doesn't make sense any other way. It boggles my mind that so many people haven't noticed this. And there is a fatal contradiction in Air Forehead's claim. What is it? A contradiction? A poison stamp was placed in this envelope 7 years ago, whereupon it was framed until now. If that's the case, then why would Drew Measham have done what he did? I guess he was desperate for a stamp, right? Why is that a contradiction? Him explain that! He must have realized it was poisoned. Therein lies the rub. Yeah, because then why would he poison himself to kill himself? That's what he's saying. Okay. Because I don't really think he figured it out. That's the contradiction. I don't agree with that. I don't think he figured it out and framed it. I don't know why he framed it. I don't know that's because he figured it out. "7 years ago, the forger Drew Measham sensed a trap and put the stamp in a frame. I do not debate this. But this begs the question. Why 7 years later did he use that stamp on the night of the murder? You think he was somehow threatened and it was suicide? Surely you don't mean to suggest that Mr. Measham simply forgot. He put the murder weapon in the frame on his desk for 7 years and forgot? You expect us to believe he sprang the trap on himself? While I admit, this is all quite shocking, myself, it does seem highly unlikely that he would fall afoul of a trap that had been sitting on his desk for 7 years.
Apollo!
I don't think we're winning anymore. I'm glad to see we're all back on the real world now. Welcome back to reality. We've been waiting for you. Might have to put that one in a song. Okay. Then how do you explain the poison stamp that was in this envelope? The poison stamp? Where exactly is this poison stamp again? Have you brought it to court for us? I see no proof that such a thing ever existed. What about the atroquinine residue, huh? Oh, I agree. That does seem to be atroquinine residue. But Air Forehead, it is certainly no stamp. Yeah, but even if your precious poison stamp did exist, Drew Measham never would have used it. That is all. I believe we've come to a conclusion. Again.
Apollo! Were we wrong the whole time?
I can't believe it! The poison traces match up. It can't be a coincidence. I'd like to bring some closure to this issue sometime this year, Mr. Justice. Yes, Your Honor. Let's review the facts and see where we stand. 7 years ago, Drew Measham received a red envelope. There were traces of the poison atroquinine on the document inside that envelope. A similar trace was also found at the crime scene, on this tiny picture frame. The defense has indicated the possibility of a yellow envelope. An envelope that left the scene of the crime with the poison stamp on it. Yes, but even if the envelope contained a poison stamp, and Drew Measham, knowing this, put it in a frame, he never would have used that stamp. I'm afraid you're right. Which means there is a fatal flaw in the defendant's case. I haven't been on the wrong track this whole time, or I haven't been on the wrong track this whole time. I'm sure of it. I haven't been on the wrong track this whole time. I'm sure of it.
That's how I should. Okay.
The traces of atroquinine, the envelope, the frame, and Drew Measham's mysterious death. They're all connected somehow.
Well, Mr. Justice, do you have a conclusion for us?
The defense stands by its case, Your Honor. We've seen that the logical outcome of the evidence makes no sense, which means that one of our clues must be fake. Ah, a fake clue. Fascinating. And if we find this fake, your wild fantasies will prove quite reasonable. Yeah? The fake clue that's thrown us off this of the poison's trail is none other than...
So we get 3 options here.
the red envelope, the frame, or Drew Measham. The fake evidence, the fake clue that's thrown off the poison's trail. It wouldn't be Drew Measham. It would either be the frame or the red envelope. And I think it's the red envelope because I think if we are saying in which Apollo is, he is saying that he took it off the frame, licked it, put it on an envelope, and died because he didn't poison himself. And so if he did do that, then he didn't know it was poison. So I agree with Gavin that he wouldn't do it to himself intentionally, unless he was trying to commit suicide, which is just like a really ridiculous time to have done that. So I think it's the red envelope that's somehow throwing us off. I don't know where the poison stamp would come from then, but I mean, one of these things has to be the option. So we're gonna do a little gum save, and we're gonna say the red envelope. Makes sense to me. Well, there you go. Stella agrees. It must be true.
This red envelope is a fake?
Without a doubt, Your Honor.
Objection!
Wasn't it you who presented this evidence to the court? Oh. Well, I mean, we presented it as evidence when Brucial was talking about another letter, so I mean... Hold on a second, Apollo. The poison on that envelope, the frame, and the coffee mug. They're all connected somehow. Oh, right.
So we picked the wrong one?
Hear it already. It looks like the fake was you, Air Forehead.
Now's no time for wallowing in self-pity. Let's get thinking, Apollo.
Okay, so was wrong. So it's either Drew Measham or it's the frame. Okay, I don't know how it would be Drew. Okay, let me think about this. It's saying the fake clue that's thrown us off the poison's trail is none other than Drew Measham? He would be the fake clue? Meaning that he didn't poison himself from the stamp at all? Is that what we're gonna say? Oh, I'm so confused. Because it can't then be the frame, because we also presented that as evidence. If that's how Gavin shot us down, then he's just gonna shoot us down again. Both of them have traces of the poison, and she just said that they're both connected somehow, so it must be Drew Measham then. Man, I should have known. It's always the one that's like ridiculous. It's not always the one, but sometimes it is. All right, they're trying to throw us for a loop. This is what my next guess is. Throwing us for a loop. Gotta try Drew. Go. Guess we were wrong still. Damn it.
The victim was a fake clue? I'm afraid I don't understand.
I'll explain. We have an envelope, a frame, and a mug linked by poison. That all makes sense. What doesn't make sense is the victim himself.
Objection!
Congratulations, you've completely lost me. So the fake evidence is none other than the master of the fake himself, the forger. It makes a good story, I'll give you that.
The fake clue. Fakes. Forgeries.
Ugh. I know that face. That's the I just had an idea face.
I don't know if I'm right, but I'm going with it anyway. What if our forger is the fake?
What if he's not actually Drew? Wouldn't that be crazy?
Come again. 7 years ago, our forger sniffed a trap and stepped aside. 7 years passed. Now the forger stumbles into the very same trap and dies. Why? Because he's not the same guy, and he didn't know about it. Is that what we're saying?
That's what I want to know.
Because the forger who was killed was a fake. Here we are again. The victim was a fake. One forger smelled the trap. One forger fell into the trap. That's 2 forgers, and one of them was a fake. Okay, I'm a little confused now too, but I guess I see what he's trying to say possibility-wise. Order! I'll let him say it. Just let him say it. I'll take it.
Order! Very rude, the members. Order!
Very rude. Yeah, this game, yeah. It's a fun twist, though, I will say. Obviously, we didn't see that twist coming. Right? So you were telling us that Drew Measham, the victim, was a fake? Well, if he was the faked, who's the real forger? You'd better not be claiming there was some kind of switcheroo.
I'm afraid you're going to have to back up your story. Mr. Justice, show us just who the real Drew Measham was.
If Drew Measham wasn't the real forger, there's only one other person it could have been.
Understood, Your Honor. Forger Drew Measham was himself a forgery. The real forger was his daughter? I mean, who else in this list would it be? The only other person was there was definitely Emma Sky. If anybody was forging anything, oh, I'm sorry, let me show you. This is who they gave me. If anybody did it, it was probably Emma, right? Or Valiant Grammary? Yeah, he's some magic. No, I feel like it's gonna have to be Vera then. So are we saying that Vera was the one that was actually doing the forgery paintings? Then what did... But wasn't Drew an artist? Huh. I don't know. Let's do a little gun save. And... Take that! There can be only one explanation, really. The real identity of the forger, known as Drew Measham, is none other than his only daughter, Vera Measham. My client.
Order, order! I'll just say it this time. Mr. Justice, this is going out on a limb, even for you.
I kinda agree. I mean, Vera? A forger?
Let's consider it before you write it off entirely. If you look at the paintings in the studio, one fact becomes quite clear. Forgery has been taking place in that studio for quite some time. The forger wasn't caught in that trap 7 years ago. This can only mean that the one who was caught in the trap wasn't the forger.
Well, actually, that does make a certain kind of sense.
One more thing. Only 2 sets of fingerprints were found in the forger's studio. Drew Measham's and Vera Measham's. If we know that Drew Measham wasn't the forger, that leaves only one possibility, by process of elimination. The forger was Vera Measham. Well, there we go. Fascinating. Ooh, Vera's up.
Vera Measham. You've been paying attention to the trial so far.
Let's just ask her and be done with it, shall we? Who are you? Who is the forger, Drew Measham?
Was that an expression of emotion I saw on her face? She's staring holes into Prosecutor Gavin's face.
I'm used to being stared at by Fräuleins, believe me. Though they usually talk to me, too. Tell us, were you the one who forged those works of art?
Yes.
So, the forger, Drew Measham, was you?
Yes, it was me.
What? Speak up, dear. What? But you're just a child.
The court was in an uproar, and it wasn't coming down. We had to break for a 10-minute recess.
To be continued. Nice. There we go. That's it. I don't know why the walkthrough like split that up into 2 different parts. I'm not sure why. Thank you for the stream frame. Yeah, thank you for hanging out. Let me pop on over here. We're gonna save. Ba-da-ba-boop-ba-bee-ba-da-ba. I mean, how many more twists and turns do you think this case is gonna have? You know what I'm saying? All right, let me save here. Bing, bang, boom, bum. All right, we got an internal save. We got the external saves, 4 of them. Should be good to go. This is where we're starting next week, and we're gonna continue on with Vera as our witness, giving testimony. Oh, I still have this background here, my bad. There we go. Oh, damn it. Also, the picture's the wrong size. How'd that happen? Damn it. Why can't I? Oh, I gotta unlock that. Fix that real quick. Ooh, I'm grabbing the whole thing. Just meant to grab the slideshow. That should be more like that. All fixed. Okay. Anyways, thank you everybody for hanging out with me tonight. I'll switch it out of emote only mode. And, you know, if anybody wants to say hi, feel free to do that. But I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode of Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. I might try keeping it on Wednesdays again. I do like having a set day that I do play Ace Attorney because I love this game so much. So I don't know. We'll see. I might not put it on the official schedule, but it might be like an unofficial schedule type thing. We'll see. So for the rest of the week, on Friday, I'll be playing. I'll probably be playing some more Final Fantasy 14. I don't know. We'll see. I might play Deacons with Lemur. We've been playing a lot of that lately, so that could be cool. But I do want to get farther in Final Fantasy 14's story because we're at a really good part. So might be doing that as well. Then on over the weekend, we do have Strange Planet Sunday. So far, it's looking like it might just be Papa and I. I'm not sure. But we could be doing some more Grounded. But maybe if it's just 2 of us, we might try something else. You know, maybe if it is just Papa and I, maybe we'll do Power Wash Simulator because I got that new Final Fantasy 7 map or something. I don't know. We might talk about it. But anyways, just, you know, take a look in the Discord for the notification, and we'll be live. And next up on the schedule, I keep forgetting to put it up. I need to get the new schedule updated on my stream. But next up, it is, let's see, Wednesday today. So Thursday, I believe we just have Papa tomorrow. I think he's the only one on the schedule for tomorrow. So tomorrow night, make sure you go hang out with Papa. That'll be a good time. All right, so we can try to find a friend to raid here if you guys are down to join me for that. Oh, sweet, Noah's still on. Let's go raid Noah. Let's see if we can raid Noah before he like raids us or something. Never, hardly ever get to raid Noah on these nights. I feel like I haven't got to raid one of the boys in a while. Yeah, used to get to raid Pop all the time, and then I changed my schedule. Here we go. We got 4 viewers going in there. Let me jump on in there as well. All right, let's go hang out with Noah, guys. Thanks again for hanging out with me. Hope you guys have a wonderful evening. And until I see you next time, stay happy, stay healthy. I love you all. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.